Hello, hello, and welcome back in Look Up.
Dummy fuck.
I'm Dom.
And I'm Jen.
And today, what are we talking about, Jen?
Well, I think the best thing we should talk about, of course, super important to everyone in the world is insurance, healthcare insurance.
Healthcare insurance.
And of course, maybe even a little bit touch on in terms of like the LA fires,
Yeah, of course.
insurance on properties and whatnot. So
why do you feel like it's such an important topic and it's such a big difference between the US and Europe? Because for me, this is clearly, I'm married, I have a kid. This is clearly one of the reasons I moved from the US to go back to Europe, because here I can afford what is one of the basic need of human being is being healthy and being helped by my government to have access to an affordable healthcare system that works, right? What do you feel?
100%. Even I remember when I had lost my job years ago, I was on what they called Obamacare at the time. And even though it was amazing to have affordable healthcare in the US, at the same time, I think I was still paying $350 a month back then to have the most basic catastrophic healthcare. Since I moved to Europe, I do have private healthcare thanks to this fabulous country of Spain. And I have the most expensive option that I could buy, and it's €94 a month. What's super exciting is it covers everything. I go to the doctor and there's no copay. Nice. And I go to have a mammogram and there's no copay. I do have to pay for my prescription drugs, but
we'll come to that.
The difference.
Okay. So you guys will see in that show, I'm usually the geeky nerd. So I did some research. I have a few numbers for you, Jen. Okay. So stay with me. Well, I am a family of three. So me, 55, my husband, my kid, 11. Okay. Family of three in the US, no any big illness issues and stuff. If I have an employer, so I'm an employee, it will cost my employee, it will cost $23,000 a year. My health insurance for a family of three with a kid.
In the United States?
In the United States.
Okay.
Out of those $23,000, I would have to pay $4,000 to $5,000 myself, right?
Every month? Okay.
No, every year. So okay. 23 per year. I would have to pay $4,000 to $5,000. My employers pay the rest.
Okay.
Plus, I have a deductible of $2,000 to $4,000 a year.
Right.
So basically, it will cost me $8,000 to $9,000 a year for my health insurance if I am employed. If I'm not employed, like if I have to pay everything myself, it's between $15,000 to $20,000 a year. Brace yourself. That's in the US. Now I'm in France. If I am in France right now, actually, my health insurance is in France. And I'm covered for everywhere in the world. And I pay for my family of three $4,000 a year. And I pay everything myself. If I was employed, I would pay for my family of three €200 to €300 a month. Guys, can you see the difference? It's just nuts. It's just like the price difference between the two systems. For what you get is just insane, right?
Well, and the Republicans would love to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Mm-hmm. So we're probably going to see maybe something like this soon. And we can see the concepts of Donald Trump's plan, because he has concepts of a plan, a new plan.
Well, and since I'm the nerd, I also have numbers on this. So right now, 27 million Americans, 8% of the American population is not covered by any type of insurance. Before the Obamacare, it was 45 million Americans who were not covered by any type of insurance. And then guess who is not covered? Oh, it's not us, like the whites who've been have good jobs and stuff. No, it's the Hispanic and the Latinos. 20% of the Latinos in the United States of America have no health insurance whatsoever. 20%. 11% of the black, no insurance. The white people, 6%. Asian, 6%. So basically, we also see that it's like there's a few communities in the US who, by the way, are kind of the immigrants or the illegals of the people who maybe are not going to be able to stay with the Trump administration, who are absolutely not covered by any health insurance. That would be totally illegal in Europe. That does not exist,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I have a friend right now actually who is on the Spanish healthcare system. So the free healthcare, because he's been here for a long time. He literally was just diagnosed with lung cancer, sadly, but he is getting the best healthcare right now at Hospital Del Mar down the street. And they're paying for everything. And he's been in the hospital, I think, for 3 months. Can you imagine in the US, if you were in the hospital for 3 months, what your bill would be?
Yeah, crazy.
Millions
Yes.
of dollars.
So you would lose your house, you would put debts on your credit cards, and basically that would be it for the rest of your life if you survive this.
I mean, it may be better just to die, I feel like.
Well, we will come back to this because it's weird because you die younger in the US, even though you pay more, right? So,
I have been hearing this too. Our life expectancy in the United States is what, like
77.
77, and in Europe?
83.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of that I do think also has to do with the food in the United States as well. I know when I moved here, the first year I lived in Spain, my cholesterol and LDL just went down poof on its own.
Let's talk about this because we have a personal story, and I think that shows a lot. So I moved to the US when I was 36. I was so fit, it was not even funny.
Okay.
I was doing sports, I was rowing, I was, I don't know, 78 kilos. Marriage, a kid, 20 years in the US. Guess what? I was 107 kilos. I gained more than 30 kilos. My doctor was not happy. My blood results were not happy. And my dear friend Jen was not happy with me, but she was also dealing with being 50 and a woman and really wanting to lose weight as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, COVID plus 50 equals more weight than you want on your body.
Plus American food.
Well, that's true too. Yes.
Right. So Jen and I have been struggling with this, and our doctor have been unhappy with us. And I remember Jen calling me one day, telling me, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe this. I found the miracle medication." And I look at her and I was like, "Wow, and you look so good, girl. What happened?" So what happened? You found the miracle medication.
I know. It is
right?
a very controversial drug right now. But I did try the Ozempic drug. I did keep it on a very low dose, but I have to say, I mean, it not only helped me lose this unneeded weight that, as you well know, I wasn't even eating very much food here in Spain. But it also helped me to almost quit drinking. So I drink only a few cocktails a week instead of a few cocktails a day now, which is really nice. And shockingly, I think it has this weird trigger. Not that they've, proved this, but oddly, on September 1st of last year, I actually quit smoking. And I was smoking a pack of cigarettes every day.
Yes.
For like 38 years.
I remember that.
So it's pretty amazing, I have to say.
Please see my new
Zero nicotine. And I do think it all is connected though, because when you're eating like shit and you're smoking and you're drinking, and of course it all kind of goes together.
Okay, so my friend Jen tells me about Ozempic, and I really want to lose 25 kilos, which is a lot. But I needed it. My doctor was like, "Dude, you're obese now, and you're pre-diabetic." So,
I didn't even know they told you this.
Yes, pre-diabetic, and you're starting to have fat liver. So you have a choice. You could keep going this way or you take care of it. And I started going to the gym a lot, and then I started Ozempic. I lost 25 kilos. I mean,
Already, I mean, you're so skinny
I
now,
know,
bitch.
I feel like so good, guys. You have no clue. Okay, so yes, we know this medication is a bit controversial. We don't have all the results of, but it's been approved by both
the FDA,
in the US and now the European authorities. It really helps people with diabetes. It's for sure. But we all know that both in the US and now in France, obesity is starting to be a huge, maybe the major health problem, causing millions of deaths every year.
And the price in the US.
Right. Okay, let's
because
come
I
to
have
this.
I mean, I used to live in Los Angeles, people. So pretty much everyone there is on Ozempic or Wegovy or one of these drugs. And I know that everyone I know pays about $1,000 a month for these drugs. And how much do we pay in Europe?
120 to
Europe.
200.
Yeah, a month. So when you think about how criminal this is, how is it that a drug company can make the exact same medication?
Yeah.
And even it's the exact same packaging, which is kind of crazy, for almost 10 times the price that they pay in the USA.
So it's crazy. So I did, once again, being the nerd, I did the research. So yeah, basically the basic treatment of Ozempic, which is actually not exactly what I'm taking twice that, would cost me, so the basic treatment is it comes in a pen. One pen costs in the US between 800 to 1,000 dollars. A pen in Europe costs between 120 to 200 euros, depending on the countries. So for me, it would cost me $2,000 a month just to be healthy. In Europe, it costs me, well, in Spain, it's 130. It cost me 260 euros a month. So basically, that means that we have a system that is designed for rich. And now you see all the celebrities in Los Angeles, they all are on Ozempic.
Everyone looks amazing.
Elon Musk, our dear friend Elon Musk, like, is so happy with his Ozempic. He's been all over X with like, I love Ozempic. Well, he can afford to pay $2,000 a month, but who else can afford that? But that's not just in that. Like, on average, the price of the same brand of medication in the US is 3 times more than in Europe, like on average.
Or if not more.
If not more.
I mean, it really is crazy. I mean, I remember I needed like some cream for my finger. I had some rash on my finger, and it was $250 in the US, and it was like 10 euro here in Europe. So I would always come and get it when I came for Fashion Week. It was crazy.
And so what's kind of weird is, so once again, when we look at the number, like in the US, the cost of healthcare is about $12,000 per person a year. In Europe, it's about $4,000 to $5,000 per person per year. That's what the society spend on healthcare. So, but on the opposite, we live longer in Europe. So what's wrong?
I know. I mean, definitely. I mean, you know, maybe Donald Trump is going to show us his concepts of a plan. I'm super excited to see this.
Right.
Once maybe he rolls it out.
Well, we have that. What's the name of that guy who was running for president, who has a worm in his brain? Like,
RFK.
RFK, Mr. Kennedy, right? He's going to solve everything. Like, he's a guy who doesn't believe in vaccination. Like, he's an anti-vax. Okay, maybe there's a few ideas that he has, right? But are we scared of what?
Well, I mean, I definitely think, you know, RFK is in some amazing shape. I mean, he looks incredible, but I think for sure his ideas you know, for himself are great, but his ideas for people who are maybe overweight or have pre-existing conditions
or come from minorities,
just aren't gonna work the same way for everyone. I mean, would it be amazing if we stopped treating our food with all these pesticides In the
Yes.
US, of course, but you guys in the US, prepare yourselves, because your food isn't going to last for 5 years in your cabinet. And it's certainly not going to last for a week in your refrigerator. And it's definitely not going to last on your counter for more than a couple of days when you stop treating it with all of this shit. So, cute idea in theory, but do we honestly think that the Americans are ready to shop like we shop? I mean, we shop what? Every day or two.
Yeah, we go to the market. I mean, here in Spain, I mean, in Barcelona, we're lucky enough in every neighborhood, we call them barrio here, there is a market. There is a fresh food market in every neighborhood. So you can go, you have fresh food. It's like,
but you do have
fresh.
to go all the time. I mean,
It's okay.
Yes,
we don't have those big fridge and those big pantries.
Yeah, we don't even have a car.
Yeah, we don't.
But it does take time. I mean, for me, it has been a lifestyle change to get used to going to the store with my tote bag, every couple of days and not buying a week's worth of food, because I have so many times thrown in the trash.
And I saw it happening to you. I see this happening to me. I see this happening to us as friends. We cook.
Yeah.
We started cooking again. And actually we invite all the time each other to our house. Oh, I have this. I'm going to cook like this delicious pasta with fresh tomatoes today. Or I'm going to cook this really cool fish papilla that I love. And then we cook, which is not something we were doing in the US anymore, even though we had huge kitchen, which is not the case here, right? So I feel our relationship with health, with what's healthy, with food has completely changed.
Yeah, hopefully this new administration is going to get out there and give the United States citizens some kind of new option, because they want to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah.
But I don't have a huge amount of hope in terms of that. But we shall see. We're just waiting.
So let's talk about something that has been actually very shocking in the US. I don't think people in the world really understood what happened, but there's a guy who was kind of like, in many ways, becoming a hero, which I feel like maybe should not be right. But so there was a big there was a shooting in New York a few weeks ago, and
I think it was like December maybe December.
Yeah. One of the executive CEO of a big healthcare company got killed by someone called Luigi Mangione. And Luigi Mangione comes from a wealthy family, very well educated, but obviously had some very bad health issues, hurting his back and making him very painful, and almost ruined at the age of 24, 26. And he went and killed a guy. And a lot of people were like, you know what? I think I understand. What is your take on this story that most people don't know about?
I mean, we do have. I mean, I think a lot of people know about it, because even
in the US, yes.
No, but even my friends in the UK have been posting, and people have been talking about it. I mean, I have to say, let's preface this whole conversation with: we certainly do not condone murder or people killing people, but you also, and I think what I'm reading from people who I have to say I understand is, have these healthcare companies in the US been negligent for actually killing people? Is this the answer, to go kill the CEO of the company? Of course not. But at the same time, I do feel like these companies need to understand that all of the citizens in the US are customers of their company. And I think that they're really forgetting, right? This, for lack of a better word, customer service, especially when people are in pain.
Yeah.
It clearly makes you do some things you maybe wouldn't normally do.
Well, maybe we can talk for a minute about the experience. So, like, I'm a French citizen. I have something called Carte Vitale, which is a unique card that allows me to go to the doctor and I don't have to pay in advance. I only pay my copay if I have one. I go to the pharmacy. It's very simple. It's very streamlined. I don't have to do all that paperwork anymore. I don't have to seek a pre-approval for anything. You go to the US, you have to go to a specific network of doctors that is approved by your insurance. And well, good luck. If that specific doctor you need is not in your town, you have to wait for 6 months to get an appointment to that specific doctor you need. And then for anything you do, you need to have pre-approval for your insurance. And in many cases, well, they don't really approve, or they say, okay, we're going to pay that part. So it's kind of like even the system seems to be fucked up to me. No?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do think that these healthcare companies have a rude awakening because this Luigi Mangione has really shined a light on these companies and their negligence in terms of covering pre-existing conditions, I mean, I was watching a video with a doctor saying that the healthcare company had called the doctor's phone while the person was on the table.
Are you kidding?
Okay. Saying, are you sure this person really needs to be here in the hospital right now? And
Having surgery?
And the doctor was like, I'm operating on this person right now. So we do need to sort this out somehow. It is extremely wrong to me in the US. And you know, we are such a huge country. It should not be.
To me, you know, I mean, we always speak about the Maslow Tower of Needs. I mean, health is the base of the base. Like this, you have to have this covered. This is the base of the needs of human being. And I feel like, and that has been always something that was shocking to me, especially now that I'm more self-employed, I have my own company, I have to pay for it. And it's not normal. I mean, it doesn't feel fair. And then the doctor is going to say, oh, no, I'm not in your network, so I can't treat you. Or my insurance is going to say, oh, you're 55, you used to smoke when you were 35, then you're not eligible. You have to pay full price for it, even though I'm paying for the insurance. You see what I mean? Like, this will never happen in Europe.
I mean, I will tell you, I do still have a few issues here in terms of in-network with my private healthcare, but it's certainly a much better experience in terms of even private healthcare here.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, to finish this podcast, we really need to talk about LA because you're from LA. I have a house in Malibu. I mean, we're both devastated. We have tons of friends in LA. They moved out of the house. Some of them have lost their home. Well, basically, LA is in fire. And a lot of people actually don't even have coverage or insurance because they just can't afford it. So what?
Well, yeah, I mean, the cost of insurance, you know, on properties there is astronomical. I mean, if you have a good insurance policy on a home, you're probably paying around $30,000 a year. If you have a crappy policy, you might be paying in a fire zone $100,000 or more, which is just a price that I can't even fathom paying owning there. But so we've decided, since this horrific situation in LA, that we are going to dedicate each one of our podcasts to a specific charity.
Exactly.
So every single time that we speak to you, which we're going to do these podcasts twice a month, we will have a link in the podcast to the charity that we are looking to support, that kind of, you know, coincides with the conversation we're having. So we will have an LA charity for you. You'll be able to click the link and help out these people in LA. And please do not think it is just celebrities that have lost their homes.
No, it's not.
It's totally not. There's a lot of people who really had small homes or renting apartments. They're jacking up the rent on these people. I can't quite imagine waking up with my family with nothing.
Yeah. Just you lost everything. You lost your home. You lost, everything.
Yeah.
So it's heartbreaking for us, and we do really think that the system is broken. And this is also why we're doing this podcast. This one podcast was more about telling you the situation and sharing with you how things works. It's not too much about solutions or what should be fixed, because we believe that our politicians should come up with those solutions. That's why we elect them. That's why we put trust on them. And we don't see this happening yet. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I don't think that they care, because
maybe
no matter what happens, they always have health care.
There you go.
You know, they certainly never lose their coverage, right?
No. And when they lose their house, well, they have probably enough money to rebuild it, or they had enough money to have a good insurance, right?
Yeah.
So I think, guys, it's time to look up.
Dummy fuck.
And, well, we will see you very soon. It was a great conversation.
Yeah. And you can find us, of course, on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, and SoundCloud.
And on our website, lookupdummyfuck.com.
I love it. So thanks for listening, and thanks for joining us. If you have feedback or something you want us to talk about, feel free to send us comments, whatever. We've gotten some really amazing feedback already. So keep it coming.
So keep it coming. We will see you very soon with a different topic. And
stay healthy.
Yes.
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy. Ciao.